Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Scorpio is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider hitting the subscribe button. Especially if this reading resonates with you, these readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And a Five of Wands. You may be feeling like your life's kind of in a pressure cooker, right? I feel like we're wrestling with things right now. I feel like there's a struggle. I feel like you're someone that you don't like confrontation. You don't like conflict. You don't like kind of wrestling with people or disagreeing with people. I feel like there's just a feeling of tension right now. There's something that needs to be relaxed. There's something that maybe we've been striving for that is just, maybe we feel like we're getting close to succeeding on it, but maybe we're also kind of saying, well, maybe it's not worth it. Like we're wrestling with something. Usually this is an internal kind of wrestle, Let's put this card into some context. Let's see what's going on here. We have a Three of Swords. Okay. A Six of Swords. An Ace of Swords. We have a Prince of Pentacles and a Five of Cups. Okay, Path of the Serpent. We've got a Nine of Pentacles. We've got the Fool. We've got the Eon, Judgment, Rebirth, Reawakening, the Baptism by Fire, and the Eight of Swords. Shoot. It seems as if, it seems we're sort of fighting for something, but there's some kind of an impasse that we've reached, kind of mentally, where we're just like, we're doing the work and we're thinking, do I even want to be here? Do I want to be doing something else? Is this leading me to anything? Is there anything on the other side of this? Why am I here? I think we're going through that crisis of kind of being in the middle of the path and thinking, I don't know, how am I going to keep going? Am I going to do this again tomorrow? What is the purpose? Why am I here? What do I even want? And I think it's that's kind of the attitude that we have when we're at the gym, and we're just lifting the weights. And we're like, I don't want to be here. And do I really care about the outcome? Do I really care about the muscles or the cardiovascular health or the longevity or anything like that? And I think that, we're sort of, our ego, our mind, our intellect is sort of convincing us to give up on something, Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here with Dwight K. Schrute right on top. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, okay? But it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during this program you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments, okay? Let's take a look around the room. We see 1, 2 major arcana energies, the Fool and, the Eon, the doorway to the future. And kind of the Fool is a transcendence, right? Both of these cards kind of indicate something new is beginning. Something new is starting, right? It could be here, we've got fire, we've got a little bit of water, we've got our air, and we've got some good earth energies, right? We got good earth energies. I think what's going on for you right now is that you're realizing that the work you're putting in, it's a long haul deal, okay? It's a lot of grind. The Prince of Pentacles is working really hard, working every day, showing up on time, doing the best job you can do, and I think you're seeing the progress. You're saying, yeah, I'm putting in the hours, I'm getting the paycheck. I'm doing I'm lifting the weights at the gym, and I see my muscles getting bigger. Okay, so it's working. This is the card of visible progress. However, it's kind of like we're going through this mental turmoil, this internal rebellion where the ego is saying, I don't know if I even want to do this anymore, right? And I think that's kind of the choice that we kind of have to make right now. We need to look inside and think, okay, despite the material progress, despite the visible signs of progress, the measurable results, right? Is this still something that you want to keep doing? Is this something that you can continue to do? Or are we looking at a Five of Cups? We're looking at disappointment. Well, how can you be disappointed when you're making the money, right? The Nine of Pentacles here is saying that it's working. You're gaining something from this materially, right? Doing the work, getting the paycheck, okay? And, well, then why are you feeling so upset? What's wrong? What's going on in your conscious mind right now, your heart and your mind, really? I feel like you're putting in a lot of effort and we feel disappointed still, even though, kind of despite the material success. Work hard, get paid. Work hard, get paid. Yeah, but there's nothing fulfilling about it. The Five of Cups in this immediate future is saying, what's the point? Right? This is us asking emotionally, like, what is the purpose? What's the reason? You know, why am I'm putting in all this work, I'm getting the money, why am I still disappointed? Yeah, why am I still disappointed? And so I think we have to address this. Anytime we see a 5, right, what does it mean? It means Spirit wants you to look at it. Your higher self wants you to look at where this is coming from. It's just like you bang your toe on the edge of the bed, which I do almost every day, and your toe you feel this throbbing pain somewhere down there. Well, it's your body's way of saying, hey, look at the toe, look at it. And very often we don't want to look at it because, it's kind of, ow, it's the toenails, and we don't want to see it, okay? But that's why we feel pain. Pain is the body's way of saying, look at that. Look at the source of pain. Look at where the pain is sort of drawing your attention. Even though we may resist, I don't want to look at the toe. That's why we go to the emergency room and we don't want to look at what they're doing. You get I have to get blood draws like every month, right? And now it doesn't bother me. I've had procedures done and it doesn't faze me as much anymore. But the toes, the toenails, yeah, that's still, I'm not going to look. Whatever's wrong with my toe, somebody else needs to look at it. But this is how we feel, and this is emotional. So it's kind of like we have this pain, this emotional pain or disappointment or upset or sadness. And it's your emotional body's way of saying, look at me. What is it telling you, right? Is this just telling you that, well, maybe the ego is just like, is just kind of bored. Maybe the ego is disappointed because it thought it would be more fun, more magical or whatever. Even though we're doing this good work. We're putting in the hours, we're getting the paycheck. You gotta look at what your emotions are telling you. Your emotions aren't going to lie to you, okay? But we need to look at that and figure out, is this coming from an existential sorrow that's saying on a fundamental level, my soul is telling me that this is not the path for me, even though it's making money, this isn't where I'm supposed to be, right? Or is it more of just kind of temporary emotional disappointment where the ego just wanted some pleasure? The ego didn't want to work hard, didn't want to get sweaty and exhausted at the gym, would rather be at home watching TV, eating ice cream. So that's what we have to, but we have to look at this first. You have to pay attention to it with your truth, with your discernment, with your honesty of this Ace of Swords. Okay? And understand, look at it from your higher wisdom and discernment to try to distill the truth out of what your body, your heart, and your mind are telling you. There's a certain part of you that's really happy. I'm getting money. It's paying me, But maybe the heart and the mind are just like, there's a sorrow here. There's a sadness about it. And why? What is that? What is the purpose of that pain? What is it teaching me? Right? It's knocking at your door. It's going to keep knocking. Eventually, you're going to have to look at the toe. Okay? And this is the card that's saying, I'm looking at the toe, but not from an ego perspective, from a higher perspective, from a higher point of view, from the position of the true self or a position of the soul consciousness. Okay? The more enlightened way. This is a an attention or a consciousness that has transcended the realm of thought and is piercing outer space to where it is receiving the divine message. You know, it's receiving the signal, receiving the transmission from your highest self, your truest, deepest self, from the divine within you, giving you kind of the answer, leading you to the correct interpretation of that pain. Because we can look at the pain, but I'm not a doctor, you know, and the toe hurts. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm not qualified to make a decision on that toe. I got to go consult the expert, right? So we consult the higher self. The higher self says, okay, show me the toe. And they see what we see, but they can interpret it, the doctor or the higher self or whatever, right, can interpret it differently than the ego can. The ego will see it and be like, well, yeah, obviously that's the pain. The solution, ice cream. The higher self will look at the same toe and see the same toenail and say, I know what's wrong. I know what that means. I know how it needs to be fixed. Okay, so I hope that flow of energy makes sense here. And I think part of it is the Six of Swords underneath the surface here, which is the plan. You know, it could be that this wasn't supposed to be the plan, right? And whether maybe this is a divine plan or whether this is an ego plan, I don't know. You have to consult the higher self. I'm just showing you a snapshot of the energy, right? We're not diagnosing the energy. We're just showing you what's there, okay? But I feel like underneath the surface, you have this idea of a plan, a bigger picture. And it could be that, you know, what I'm doing now, I'm doing the work, I'm getting the money, but it's not really, it wasn't supposed to be like this. There's supposed to be more to it. It's kind of like we're wondering what the point of it is. Because we feel like everything needs to matter, everything needs to have significance, everything needs to have a purpose to it. Well, you're doing the work, you're getting the money, but what is the point? Where is this taking me? Where is it leading me? Why am I doing this? I mean, there's nothing wrong with the job, you know, or whatever this work is that you're doing. I don't know if it's financial or what. It could be exercise at the gym, you know. That the meaningful work may not be lifting the weight, right? But the meaningful work is the purpose behind that. I always say in my readings, the earth energy, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. What matters is how and why. Okay? If it's a purposeful energy, then maybe it's the gym. Maybe it's running around the block. Maybe it's a treadmill. Maybe it's push-ups. Maybe it's, you know, there's a deeper purpose there. It's not just about, you know, when we think of our true will or our purpose in life, it's, to be a science fiction writer. That's it. No, maybe it's something kind of more fundamental than that. The storyteller, or to somehow use your imagination, to tap into your ability to communicate, like that sort of thing. So it doesn't matter what you're doing, but you're using that purposeful energy. Okay? So when we're looking at our life, we may be saying like, I didn't think it was part of the plan that I'm just supposed to be like digging ditches for a living, you know? Maybe digging ditches is a means to an end. Maybe the work that you're doing is just one component to the bigger picture. And these are just questions that you have to ask yourself as you're looking at the toe. You're trying to diagnose your own toe. You're trying to see like, okay, well, you know, here I am doing my work. I didn't think that I was going to hurt my toe. So now what does that mean? Does that mean that I shouldn't be doing the work? Does that mean that I need to do it differently? Does that maybe mean that I need to shift my energy somewhere else because I keep hurting my toes? I don't know. Like for me, maybe I should move the bed. You know, maybe there's something else going on. If I'm bumping my foot into the bed every night, maybe I should move the bed, or I should figure out how to walk straight. And so we're wondering what it's teaching us. What do I learn? And in a lot of ways, especially when there is some kind of a physical reality that we're dealing with, especially if our physical health or our finances are going in a certain direction, it may mean that we have to sort of shift our internal energy around in order to compensate for that, to deal with that. Well, especially as we get older and our physical bodies, maybe we can't quite do the same things we used to do, right? And it's like, well, wait a minute, now that's making me question my whole life purpose, right? We have to compensate. We have to change. We have to change kind of the outward actions in order to match the internal realities, to match the purpose. Okay, we can't try to force anything, right? So let's talk about the path of the serpent. As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. These readings are totally free. The Nine of Pentacles to me is this sense of, well, I'm getting something from this in a material sense, physically or financially, right? Something's coming in. I'm seeing progress. I'm able to measure the progress that I've been making. We're inching forward on the path. That's good. I mean, this is a really wonderful card. Well, why doesn't it feel right? Why isn't it also a Nine of Cups? Why don't we have a corresponding happiness to go with this? It's kind of like we're saying, I'm making all the money. Why am I not happy? I'm having progress here. I'm getting the bigger muscles. I'm feeling healthier, or I'm learning the skill, or I'm advancing on this path, whatever the path may be. Why don't I feel happy? It could be that we have this wrong idea about what happiness is. It could be that we assume that if we're doing something successful and if we're being productive in the way that we've sort of that we've concluded is our chosen way, our path, we should be happy all the time. Well, it's like if I have a Nine of Pentacles, I should have a Nine of Cups too, all the time. It doesn't work that way. Some days we may go through this existential dread of like, what is the point of working and making progress on anything, you know? We have that kind of almost a nihilistic kind of existential viewpoint. You know, or it could be that there's something deeper going on, that your soul, your spirit, your higher, truer self is trying to tell you that this is something that you need to shift out of and take your purposeful, meaningful life energy and maybe apply it through a different medium, through different earth energies, different pentacles. Maybe it's not a matter of your purpose is wrong, but maybe the way we're applying that purpose, through which discs we are, you know, we're doing that work, through which physical energy, right? The medium, yeah. In the environment, in your terms of your relationships, you have this Fool energy, which is a transcendence. It's a freedom. It could really indicate that you need to go out and try expressing yourself in other ways. If this way isn't feeling all that satisfying for you, it does not mean that your truth or your purpose or your energy is wrong. It may just be that we need to experiment with some other things of where to apply our physical efforts. Okay, so the Fool is ready for kind of a new journey. The Fool is ready to experiment and just play around with different ideas, play around with different techniques, different styles, different jobs, different hobbies, different activities. Okay, so literally the Fool is saying, go out into the world and just play with stuff to see kind of, you know, where your energy might be shifting. And so we're kind of, in some ways, we're ready to start something fresh. We're ready to kind of say, okay, I've looked at the toe, I've realized why my toe keeps hurting, and now that I've taken away that thing that keeps hurting the toe, either I've moved the bed or I've learned how to walk straight, and so I'm not doing that anymore. The toe can heal. Now I need to embark on the new way of doing things. Now there's a novelty. The bed's in a different place, right? Or I'm walking in a different way. And so it's either something changes in the external environment or something changes in me in order to kind of not get that feeling anymore. Okay. And I think we have to sort of play around with it a little bit and see what works. See what sort of feels. See from that higher self perspective, see what is going to resonate with us more. Yeah, but again, we're not the doctor, right? We're not the one to diagnose anything. That is the higher self. The obstacle here is the impulse, I feel, the impulse to sort of destroy what we've already created, throw it away, and start over. And I don't think Spirit wants you to do that, because that's something that the Fool would do. The Fool would go through this fiery doorway of change and just say, I'm shutting the door on the past, and I'm never going to do that again. I'm gone. I'm out of here. This is like saying, the Fool saying kind of like, I quit. Burning the bridge, so to speak, yeah? So it would be the equivalent of me like throwing the bed away, you know, or throwing the foot away, I guess. Which seems ridiculous. You know, that's not the solution. The solution isn't to abandon what you've been doing, especially if it's working for you in some dimension of life. On a physical level, it's working. But maybe on an emotional or a spiritual or creative level, it's not really doing it for you. It could be that we need to experiment, play around with different ways of doing it. But we don't want to just get rid of it. You know, we don't want to just get rid of it, because then we are at the mercy of the fluctuating emotions. Anytime we get pain, we run away. Anytime we get pleasure, we run toward it. And that's very kind of ego-driven, you know. So this is the energy that is kind of like, we're crushing the old universe and we're just going to build a new one. And the Fool likes to do that, because the Fool likes novelty. The Fool is saying, yeah, let's go start a new job. Let's start a new business, Sal. Yeah, the heck with the old one. I'm bored with it already. The Fool only wants novelty. That's why the Fool is a very magical card, but very dangerous too, because it has no sense of direction. It has no purpose. It'll get us into trouble. It does not consider consequences. It's very rash, right? It will just throw out the whole thing. We've been writing this novel, and for some reason we're just not happy with it. And it's not coming out right. What's the first thing we do? Scrap the novel? Throw away the typewriter? Format the hard drive on the computer? Or we just delete the file? No, we rework it. We get in touch with ourselves. We ask our higher self, what is it I don't feel happy about? You know, what exactly where is the pain coming from? Can I see the toe, you know, before we do anything kind of drastic? But of course we have our Eight of Swords here, which tells me that the solution isn't going to come so easily for you right now, that it's going to take some thought. It's going to take some differential diagnoses. All right, and this is what we've got with our Eight of Swords. And the differential diagnoses is saying, well, it could be that, could be that, could be that, could be that, could be that. Okay, let's explore that and that and that and that and that before we just, you know, dig the hole and bury the thing. If we look at it from that medical perspective, well, we don't want our doctor to say, I don't know, here's your grave, you know. No, we want the doctor to say, let's run some tests. Let's figure it out. Let's look at it. Let's x-ray it, CAT scan it, MRI it. Let's palpate it. Let's think about it. Let me consult my colleagues, you know. We want someone that's going to, you know, really try to figure it out for us, not just say, I don't know. And that's kind of the Eight of Swords. Now, the Eight of Swords is not always our best friend, because it's an overthinking energy. Sometimes we need to overthink, right? It's Jupiter in Gemini. It's kind of like, let's get more people in here. Let's think about it some more. Let's brainstorm. I think right now that's kind of what we need. Yeah, we don't need to just do the Fool and the Eon kind of scrapping the whole thing. We want clarity. We want to know this plan, the divine plan. We want everything to have a purpose and a point. But right now we're not feeling the resonance. We have to ask why, and keep asking why, and keep sifting through that mass of data. Every other doctor is going to have an opinion, right? And we've got to try to find the needle in the haystack, but first we've got to get the haystack, right? If you want the needle, you got to have the haystack. Let's look at the mystery card. Maybe it'll be clarity. Maybe this will be the resonance, the happiness, a 6 of Cups, a 9, a 10 of Cups. I think a 10 of Cups would be beautiful. If you have an idea, put it in the comments. Let's see. It's a 7 of Pentacles. It's telling you to keep doing it. Keep working at it. It's keep editing it. Don't give up on it. Don't give up on this thing. It's working now. So keep doing it, and maybe it's kind of like, don't change anything. Don't stop doing it. Don't do anything irreversible, basically, right? Save a backup copy of your file before you start tweaking and editing too much. Or stay with the job. Keep doing the job. Show up to work every day. Put in your bet. You're making it's working for you. So we want to keep that that physical dimension gain coming in, right? But on top of that, let's figure out some other things we can do. Is this just the job? This is just what we do for money. Well, maybe we need a purpose in life. Maybe we need something else to use this money for. Yeah. So the Fool is kind of like, okay, let's keep this going. This is going to be your home base. This is going to be your foundation. And the Fool can say, yeah, let's go explore some novelty on top of that. But we don't have to get rid of this to have this. Okay. So I think the Seven of Pentacles is kind of reminding us, like, let's just stick with it. Maybe this is a temporary thing. Maybe this is just the ego. We need to really look at it and think about it. Consult the divine doctor, right? The higher self, true self, God, goddess, deity, spirit guides, ancestors, guardian angel, whatever you want to call it. And the extended reading. Let's do that now. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link up top and there's a link down below. New readings for Scorpio Wednesdays and Saturdays, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.